Last couple of weeks, and I do want to show a little bit of you this weekend campaigning for Senator Barbara Boxer, because you got riled up.
Barbara Boxer is the most bitterly partisan, most anti-defense senator in the United States Senate today. I know that because I've had the unpleasant experience of having to serve with her.
Now, we don't see it in that clip, but even Carly Fiorina, who you're campaigning for, did a double take when you talked about that. You're chuckling now. Did you go too far? Is that too personal?
No, I don't think so. I think that the whole issue of national security is very important, and obviously the voters of California have a choice. Barbara Boxer has voted against the Gulf War, against training and equipping the military. Let me just give you one example. In 2007, when the surge started, there was a vote as to whether to fund it or not. Barbara Boxer voted against it. Joe Biden, Senator Joe Biden, on Meet the Press, dare I mention, said, this isn't cutting off the war, this is cutting off support that will save the lives of thousands of American troops.
It was unpleasant
that's what Joe Biden said, that her votes would have cost the lives of thousands of American troops. This is serious business.
So no backing down there. Let's talk a little bit about Sarah Palin and what she said yesterday. She warned that if the Republican Party strays from the Tea Party message, it is, quote, through. Is she right?
I think she is right to this degree, that obviously when we gain the majorities, Republicans gain majorities, they betrayed our base, particularly on the area of fiscal responsibility, the earmarking, the corruption, the out-of-control spending. And we were Republicans were repudiated in 2006 and 2008, as I know very well. And what Sarah is saying, that we've got to get a fiscally responsible majority in the Congress of Republicans and act in a fiscally responsible manner.
Can you really deliver on that? I was struck yesterday by a study by the Center for Public Integrity. They released a study showing that dozens of Republicans, including you, who opposed the stimulus, then went on to request funds for your state for the stimulus.
First of all, it's simply not true. I've never asked for.
When I received different letters.
They are wrong. I received a letter from constituents. I put a cover letter on it and passed it on, and I've specifically said I am not requesting the funds. So they are not telling the truth.
So even when you pass on a request from constituents,
I pass on a request and say I'm not advocating for this
for a particular project,
a specific project. I say I'm not advocating for it. I'm passing you on a request from my constituents. That's what I do as their representative. So but I specifically state that I am not asking for that fund. So they are not telling the truth.
They're not. But they also talk to a Tea Party leader who says the Republican Party, GOP, should not be taking this money and spending it regardless of where it came from. They should be fighting against it with every fiber of their elected beings. So taking your point, Tea Party advocates want you to go even further. They don't even want you to pass it along. They want you to fight and stop the spending.
I think what they're saying is what I've been fighting against for 20 years, which had late Senator Stevens called me the sheriff, and that is the corrupting, earmarking pork barrel process that goes on. I have seen the corruption myself, and I don't say that word lightly. That's why we have former members of Congress residing in federal prison. And it is earmarking, and pork barreling is a corruption, and the Tea Parties are exactly right. They're exactly right. We've got to stop it.
There seems to be some tension inside the Republican Party. When Sarah Palin came out to California this weekend, neither Carly Fiorina nor Meg Whitman showed up. Your own daughter, Meghan McCain, on this week, on Sunday, took off on Tea Party favorite Christine O'Donnell, saying she's making a mockery of the process.
She has no real history, no real success in any kind of business. And what that sends to my generation is one day you can just wake up and run for Senate, no matter how lack of experience you have. And it scares me for a lot of reasons. And I just know in my group of friends, it just turns people off because she's seen as a nut job.
My daughter and I have very spirited conversations from time to time, and it's a lot of fun. In all due respect to my daughter, the primary voters of Delaware chose Christine O'Donnell, and she's the candidate.
Let me ask you a final question that gets to what happens the day after the election. Even if Republicans don't take control of the Senate, they're going to pick up Senate seats. Likely could take control of the House, definitely going to pick up seats. What happens the day after? You saw that poll that John Berman was citing. He said most Americans, the majority of Americans, believe that President Obama is more interested in cooperation. Tea Party advocates more interested in division. How do you prove them wrong?
Well, first of all, Americans are very angry. They're very, very angry. We all know that. That's reflected in the polls and the intensity of the voter. The Tea Partiers are a manifestation of that. And obviously, they have struck a chord that is really a remarkable thing. If the it's up to the president. You were in the White House. It's up to the president, as it was up to Bill Clinton. When you were in the White House after the '94 election, he reached out to Republicans. We did welfare reform. We did a lot of things. But if
after the government shutdown,
yes, indeed, and it was a real crisis, and you remember it very well. But the fact is that this president has not reached out, not one time, on any major issue to Republicans. I hope that he will. We look forward to problem solving with him. But we really need to respond to the anger and the frustration that the American people feel today.
Okay, Senator John McCain, thanks for coming in today. Thank you.